Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We are back with another fragrance review right here, guys. And today I will be talking about the latest fragrance coming out of Chanel for men. Yes, that's right. New Chanel right here, guys. And this fragrance is a flanker from one of their most beloved men's lines. All right. So I will be talking about this fragrance fair and square, in depth. Hope you guys are in for the ride. Let's get it. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel, especially that we are headed towards 23,000 subscribers. So please continue all your support, guys. We are more than halfway at this point. Thank you so much for all your support. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than the latest Chanel for men. And again, a flanker, a limited edition. This is none other than Chanel Allure Homme Sport Superleggera. Yes, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Superleggera, guys. Oh boy, guys. Now, this decant was sent to me by one of the friends of the channel, one of my favorite decanters in the game, Jared Miller, and I will link his details below. As always, he's got the goods. He's got a great, amazing lineup of decants that you guys can try for a very affordable price before you buy. And I always say, test stuff first, because no matter how good it sounds, guys, try it on your skin. Actually wear it. Don't go test it on a strip, because they really do come out differently when you do a full wear. Now, this fragrance here, what's the concept? The moment I heard about the word Superleggera, I wanted this so bad. And I'm not really a fan of like designer scents or Chanel, but the word Superleggera really tapped into a core memory of mine when at one point when I was in Vegas, we rented and drove a Lamborghini Superleggera. All right. And that is where I know that term. And I was just like, man, if it's a Superleggera version of something, it must be freaking good, guys. And this is also apparently a limited edition, but again, I don't believe that. I really feel like, you know, it's going to be online and it's going to be in a lot of boutiques. I heard that it's in Nordstrom, it's going to be at Macy's, it's in all the Chanel boutiques, and it is still available online to buy. So it's not as limited as what y'all think, guys. Now, what is up with Superleggera? Why is it called Superleggera? Apparently, this means super light, and that makes sense. So basically, the Lamborghini that I drove was super light. It was built a certain way to go light and fast. And apparently, this fragrance is a super light adaptation of the original Chanel Allure Homme Sport. Anyways, I'm here to give you guys a fair and square review, because I've heard a lot of things about this fragrance already as early as just a month after the release. Some people are saying it's amazing and it lasts really long. And there are some reviewers, even big reviewers, saying that, oh my God, it's only 30 minutes. Forget the performance. You won't get nothing out of this. So let's review this thing right here. Let's go spray this thing right now. Ooh. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Superleggera, guys. Now, I'm done, okay? I wore this to death, and that's the last of it. This opening right here, I gotta say, will probably be one of the most loved parts of this fragrance. Why? Because this is basically your citrus and aldehydic blast. You have a combination of a very juicy and non-bitter grapefruit. You have some mandarins, and you have some clean linen aldehydes that come in early as well. This is the blast, guys. It's pretty nice. It's pretty strong. It's pretty impactful. And I would say, like I said, that a lot of people, especially the mainstream, will like this intro right here. Now, this intro, I gotta say, is not so different from maybe the other flankers of Allure Homme Sport and other designer scents. All right, I will say that this opening, although lovely, you're gonna love it for what it is. But if you are comparing things, and Fragcom tends to do that, this thing is actually very comparable to other kind of like citrus mandarin intros. Again, just with a nice clean aldehydic touch, guys. But nevertheless, to me, it's a wake up. It's a nice, lively intro. And if you are looking for a gent scent style citrus and clean intro, this is pretty much it. I mean, it is very nice indeed, guys. And again, it might smell like some of your other perfumes or even the previous Chanel Allure Homme Sports. I mean, it's been a while since I've smelled the other ones, but it does smell very familiar, guys. Now, let's talk about that initial blast right here, because the projection of this is very nice. It's actually almost like an aura scent in how it is, and the aldehydes definitely push the strength of this fragrance stronger, guys. All right, so this is not a weak scent, especially on the intro part. And again, I think it will be loved by those that are wearing them. It's a big highlight part of this fragrance right here, Superleggera. Now, this beloved citrusy blast with the juicy grapefruit and the mandarins. The mandarin's actually a nice gent scent modifier here in the intro of this fragrance, plus the aldehydic notes right here. This intro goes up to an hour. And personally, I wish it went longer because I'm a fan of juicy mandarin grapefruit intros. All right. Actually, there's a fragrance that I tried recently. I think it's called Pacific Grapefruit. And it's kind of like this, but stronger and more potent. So I wish that was kind of like the thing. But of course, the transition to the mid is what really happens here after an hour, because the aldehydes are actually a transitional note. As they blend in really with the citruses, the mandarin, they set up the mid, which is to me the most prominent part, the Superleggera part of this fragrance. And that mid is composed of white, clean, powdery musks, as well as cedarwood, guys. All right, and I'm going to talk about the musks right here because, again, this is already set up by the aldehydes. All right, the aldehydes transition into this mid. Past an hour, you will get some clean, powdery musks, all right? Maybe it's not the powder that you're thinking from other fragrances, but yes, it is clean and powdery, guys. Now, let's talk about this mid right here, because really, this is where things kind of changed on my perception. The intro part of this fragrance was like, okay, this is going to be your classic, easy grab, easy to wear, mood enhancing, gent scent, even high schoolers can use. That's kind of like my impression here of the intro. But then once the aldehydes transitioned into those clean white musks with a little bit of powder, that linen smell, man, I knew, okay, this is something that someone my age in my 40s can actually wear in semi-formal to formal occasions. I was like, man, that's the twist right here. And I don't recall the other flankers having this transition into literally clean, white, powdery musks and some cedarwood. All right, I don't recall Extreme smelling this way or the original Allure Homme Sport, okay? So at least on my scent memory. But this one changed my perception. Again, I started with, okay, this is a mood enhancing thing. Anyone can wear it. But man, this one right here switched up to possible more mature upscale grabber type of vibe because of the powdery musks and woods that really dominate the mid of this fragrance. And when I say dominate, I do mean it, because the coverage of this musk woods combination, which they are saying is the Superleggera part of it, this is the super light part of it, lasts up to the Drydown. And I'm talking about hour 1 to like hour 6. All right, so this is a long coverage of the musk and woods. Now, let's talk about performance issues here. Some people are saying yet again that this is weak, that it's gone in 30 minutes. No, of course not, because the opening with the grapefruit and the mandarin is very strong and prominent, and it lasted up to an hour. These musks right here are not your watery musks. These are not the watery musks that I covered in Neroli Portofino Parfum and Coriander 39 that are pretty weak and you can barely really smell them, guys. These are powdery musks, also powered by aldehydes as well in the transition. So this is not weak. It's just musk and woods though. I mean, you're not going to get any body right here but you will smell this right here. Clean linens and, you know, almost professional. It, of course, will become a personal preference thing. Once you guys test it, when you get a decant from Jared, it will be a personal preference thing. But from my perspective, being a man my age, I was happy to see that this wasn't a high schooler scent or just a clubber scent, you know, something that, you know, maybe an early 20s guy would use at the club. I mean, I'm not saying you can't use it, but this one had an angle here that turned it semi-formal to formal and gentlemanly and very professional because of that switch. Okay, now let's talk about the dry down of this fragrance, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Superleggera, guys. Now, this fragrance, the bridge note into the dry down is amber, all right? And it's not a thick amber. It's actually a well-blended amber that goes with the musks. And you can smell that ambery transition right after the 6-hour mark, guys. Now, on the actual dry down, on top of the amber, you're gonna get patchouli. You'll still get the musks and some sandalwood right here. Sandalwood is a nice, easy transition from the mid that has cedarwood as well. So it's musks and woods all throughout the mid to end parts of this fragrance. But like I said, you have that nice gradient amber transition on the dry down and some light, I would say light patchouli here on the dry down of this fragrance. Not really crazy, but these are ending type notes that make sense. And, you know, I would say that it's properly placed right here on the dry down, guys. Now, let's talk about this fragrance, my overall perspective. First and foremost, I like this one, okay? I like it for a couple of reasons. Number one, first part is really nice. I mean, can't say nothing. Of course, it's gonna smell like other things, but because the first part is very usable and it's got that gent scent twist from the aldehydes, guys, I really like the intro. And some people will like the intro, but what's key about this fragrance is you like the mid, because I believe that there are many other fragrances that have the kind of intro that this has, but the mid with the powdery, clean white musks plus the woods, you have to like it because this part lasts quite a while. All right, so that is the big thing. That's what makes this fragrance super light. So with that being said, I think you should try this first. Do not blind buy it, despite whatever, you know, people are saying that it's a very limited edition perfume. I mean, unless you really are a fan of the lineup and you want to get the latest flanker, then go ahead. But I think you should try it first, and you must like the mid for you to like this fragrance as a whole. And when it comes to usage, this is versatile, but like I said, this musky and woods mid to end definitely creates an upscale vibe, kind of like a semi-formal to formal application of this fragrance, guys. Like if you were a bachelor and you had to go to a wedding, okay, as a single bachelor, I think that this would be a very appropriate fragrance to wear. And even at work, this would be a good fragrance to wear because the citruses are very likable and the clean musk and woods mid to end, even with that slight amber, guys, I think is appropriate for work. It's very manly, gentlemanly, professional, and definitely, you know, inoffensive, you know. And so I would say that this is great for work. This is great for semi-formal to formal appearances as a guy, but still, nevertheless, guys, could be a casual grab as well. But I feel the other flankers are good for the casual grab. And finally, let's talk about total performance right here. Oh my God, some reviewers are saying 30 minutes. Absolutely not. The strongest part of this fragrance really lasts up to 8 to 9. All right, that's the strongest part. And again, the musks right here are powdery musks, powered by aldehydes as well. So they are not weak. You will smell them all around you. Some people around you will smell them. That's the thing about musks. You might not smell it as strong as you want to, but other people do. And when it comes to the total longevity, add the skin scent aspect to it, I could smell it up to 12. All right, I could smell it up to 12. It's just that strongest part, 8 to 9, but I could still smell the musk and woods up to the 12-hour mark. So I don't know what these people are saying. Maybe they smelled a test strip or something, but for me, this one has very decent sillage and projection and longevity. And again, you must understand the purpose of it. It's called super light. It's very musky and woody, really, even with that citrusy blast opening, guys. So, it's not gonna be super like crazy strong with a lot of body, but you will smell it for hours and hours. Okay, so now let's talk about the pricing of this fragrance, and is it worth it for that price? Now, this fragrance is pegged at $170 at the Chanel website, and that's 100 ml. Okay, so first and foremost, that's a lot of use right there. And some people find it expensive, but I really believe that these are the same, people that believe that 150 and up is expensive, and maybe they're used to buying really cheaper fragrances, guys. But from the perspective of, hey, it's Chanel, it's designer, and there's a lot of juice right here, I feel that 170 is really not bad. But again, you must try this fragrance first, okay? Especially if you're a fan of the OG and the other flankers, because this does have a differentiator compared to those other scents. Although the first part might be the same, the rest might be different. So try it first. Hit up Jared, get a decant. Get a very cheap decant from Jared, at least 2 ml, 3 ml, and I think you'll find out whether you like it or not. And that is it. That is my no hype review on this fragrance right here, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Superleggera. This is the no hype and fair review of this fragrance. Man, a lot of people just crucify fragrances, especially flankers. They're just like out there to ruin them, sometimes even before they release. And so here I am, after literally destroying the sample. It's gone. I've been spraying it to find out what this is about and to give you guys a full fair breakdown of this fragrance. And I will keep doing this, guys. Apparently, I'm not just a no hype guy, I'm also a fair guy. So there's another spectrum of fragrances getting bashed, even if people haven't smelled them. And here I am giving you guys a fair and honest assessment before you try the fragrance right here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video, maybe in Houston, Texas. I will be in Texas, guys, so I'll bring my camera and all my equipment to do some more reviews there. I'll see you guys there. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. God bless. Take care. Peace.